Hey guys, it's Melanie, and I thought that I would do a pregnancy vlog. Um, Mr. Kong is totally barking downstairs. Somebody just pulled into our driveway to turn around, and apparently that's not acceptable in Mr. Kong's world. So, anyway, I wanted to do a pregnancy vlog just because I haven't done any of these, and it might be kind of fun to document at least the last part of my pregnancy for posterity's sake. Steak. um, so I am 32 weeks today. So we are about 8 weeks away from having little Stella, and um, it. I would like to say that my pregnancy has gone by fast, but it really hasn't. And so I'm thinking that these last 8 weeks are also going to kind of drag. Um, Let me just kind of recap the first um, I guess 8 months of my pregnancy quickly, just because I haven't done that at all for a while. The last kind of random pregnancy video that I put up before this was the heartbeat at 14 weeks. So anyway, I will say that pregnancy has been really, really rough for me. It is not something that I have enjoyed at all, and it is absolutely not something that I am going to be doing again. So, thank goodness we are at this point where it's almost done, because had I known, I'm not quite so sure that I would have been as eager to get pregnant in the first place. So, the first basically like 4, almost 5 months of my pregnancy, I was horribly, horribly sick. Which was very bad timing because it was also during a time where I was working about 70, sometimes 80 hours a week. So I was pregnant at the tail end of spring and then through my busy, busy summer wedding season while I was still working full time at my day job. And so I really honestly didn't have time to be that sick, and it made life very, very difficult for me. I wasn't throwing up as much as I was just painfully, painfully nauseous. I kept thinking that I would throw up all the time, but then it would just never happen. And I kept thinking, like, oh, maybe if I could just make myself throw up, I would feel better. But, I mean, it wasn't happening. I couldn't eat anything because the thought of just putting food into my mouth and chewing it and swallowing it and having it be in my stomach just made me even that much more nauseous. And so I lost 20 pounds at the beginning of my pregnancy, and it literally was probably the best diet that I've ever been on. Probably not the best circumstances to be losing weight in, but the doctor kept telling me that it was okay and that eventually like I would gain the weight back, and I have, and then some, and so no concerns about that. But it was just really hard. I was around food all the time, especially at weddings, and so it was it made it so awful because every wedding is catered, and sometimes they would bring food that I used to love in the past, like prime rib or tri-tip or all of these like yummy like pastas and salads and the desserts and the cakes and the cupcakes, and like everything that I used to just love in the past just now made me so physically ill during that part of my pregnancy. And every time that we would have to work with the caterers on helping them get food out in a timely manner, or just kind of directing guests to where the food is or was, I would just get horribly, horribly sick to my stomach. Just the smell of it, the sight of it, I just wasn't into it. So, a lot of times my business partner would have to pick up the slack because I literally couldn't be around any of that stuff. So that was really hard. I was also really tired. I had just a ton of low back pain. from being on my feet all day. Just this horrible shooting pain. It wasn't sciatic, like nerve pain. It was something that it was in a different location, and it caused the side of my like upper thigh area, well, actually all of my thigh area, to go completely numb. And so a lot of times I was walking around and just kind of like bumbling over things because I couldn't feel like my upper legs. And that was just the most bizarre feeling ever. And again, I would tell my doctor about all of this stuff. He'd just be like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's totally normal. Weird things happen. And so, just gotta learn to live with it. And so I spent most of the summer pretty freaking miserable. I would wake up sick. I would go to bed sick. I'd spend the entire day sick. So I was very thankful when I got to kind of the first few weeks of my second trimester, and I was finally starting to feel a little bit better. I was starting to be able to eat. I could, food just kind of started going down a bit more easy. I was able to drink more fluids. That was another thing. At the beginning, I just didn't want to drink anything. Like the thought of drinking water it nauseated me. It's water. It shouldn't make you sick. But I just didn't want anything. I didn't want to swallow anything. And so it was a rough, rough time. So when I finally started to be able to like drink things again and eat things, it made it so much better. So I finally started putting on some weight, and so that was pretty much through the second trimester. Just wasn't quite as tired, but still had like a ton of back pain. Still had the numbness down the side of my leg, and then this shooting pain that I got kind of in my lower like back hip area switched to the other side. So it started out on my right side. Then it went away for like a week completely altogether, and then it went over to my left side, and it's still there now. So that brings us to third trimester, which is what I'm in now. Still have that pain in my lower back on the left side. Every time I get up, it's a pretty painful like shooting pain. And it doesn't go down the back of my leg. It just kind of stays localized like in my like lower hip area. And I've been getting, I would say, a decent amount of the Braxton Hicks contractions. They're not super painful, but I can tell when I'm having them because my stomach gets really, really hard and really tight. And it's a little bit uncomfortable, but bearable. So it's not awful. I have bad heartburn now. I can't eat very much because the food, it seems like it's just sitting like here. I'm carrying really high, and so I think that like Stella has just pushed my stomach like up into my chest. Like there's nowhere else for it to go. It just feels like everything just sits right here, and so I can eat like a little bit at a time, and then I have to let that food kind of digest a little bit and get going through my intestines before I can stuff anything else down there. So the holidays were, a little rough this year because I love to eat all of those yummy treats and just tons of like turkey and stuffing and yams and all of this stuff that I just couldn't do this year because I couldn't get most of it down before it got cold. So, I was just eating these significantly smaller portions than what I'm used to during the holidays, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I shouldn't be gaining too much weight anyway. So, talking about weight, when I was at the doctor yesterday, it was an eye opener stepping on that scale. I weigh the most I've ever weighed in my life right now, and it's obviously because I'm carrying around a child and extra fluid and extra blood, and just your body changes, and so I have probably packed on from the start of my pregnancy, taking into account the weight loss, about 28 pounds now. So, I put on the 20 that I lost and then another 8 on top of that. And so, watching that scale go up is it's difficult for me because I don't have issues with weight, but like personally, but my mom does, and so it just scares me to think that like I won't be able to lose the weight afterwards, and I'm gonna have that lifelong struggle that my mom has with trying to lose weight after having children. But she really didn't struggle with that too much until after my third, um, not my third, my second brother was born. There's only three of us, so I'm thinking that since I probably won't be having any more children, it might be a little bit easier for me to lose the weight afterwards. And I'm definitely motivated to do that, just because it is hard to pack on a lot of weight in a short amount of time. Um, Besides Stella kind of squishing my lungs to the side and kind of up or wherever she is squishing them while she's taking up room in my stomach, um, you know, my lung capacity has majorly decreased, and it makes going up the stairs or even just walking like down the street a little bit of a struggle. And some of that has to do with, like I said, kind of the squishing of the lungs because of where she has decided to situate herself, but also just the extra weight that I'm carrying around. It's certainly a lot of weight to put on very quickly. In a relatively short amount of time, to put on about 28 pounds in 8 months is not something that I've done in the past, and so I'm not used to carrying all of that around. Um, so, anyway, I haven't had any super weird like skin stuff going on. I've been lucky with that. I don't have any stretch marks yet. And knock on wood, hopefully I don't get any, but I mean, I might. I've certainly been prone to them in the past when I was a teenager and growing really quickly. I did get stretch marks, so, and my mom certainly has them, and so did my grandma. So I think just genetically I'm kind of doomed to get them at some point, but I haven't gotten them yet on my stomach. I've been really good about putting cocoa butter on every single day, and I think that has helped to kind of facilitate a little bit of that stretching without the skin tearing quite yet. But if I do get them, I know that they do fade over time, so whatever. Nothing you can do about it, right? What else? Craig and I are pretty much done with her nursery now, and I'll definitely do a nursery tour for you guys. Her room is very cute. I kind of, I may have gone a little bit overboard. People keep telling me, like, oh, like, you're putting all of this, like, time and effort into it, but, I mean, she's not going to care. All she wants is you and her dad, and, she'll be fine. Which, yeah, but, I mean, I remember being a little girl, and I used to always have to share my room with my little brother, and, we lived in smaller houses, and so there wasn't, like, a bedroom for myself, and so I never got that, like, little princess girl room, and I was such a girly girl when I was little, and that was really all that I ever wanted, is just a room that was pink and beautiful, and I wanted sparkly things. And so I'm kind of, whether Stella wants it or not, she's going to get it. And I'm certainly hoping that she's going to take after me and will appreciate stuff like that. But who knows? I mean, she might be a total tomboy, which, I'm not going to lie, it would devastate me just a little tiny bit. Because, just I have these dreams about, like, teaching her all about makeup and, like, when she gets old enough, taking her with me as, like, an assistant and, just shopping and all things sparkly and glittery and just super, super girly. So we'll see. I'm not going to force anything on her, but, well, the room I'm going to force on her because it's pretty darn cute. I didn't go super overboard with the pink. I mean, there's a lot of brown in there as well, so it's not like a Pepto-Bismol explosion by any stretch of the imagination. So, but you guys will see that in an upcoming video. Yeah, so overall, I am getting very nervous at this point about giving birth. I'm not looking forward to that. I am not a person who thinks that I could give birth without pain management, and so I'm not going to delude myself into thinking that I'm not going to get an epidural. I will. 100% be getting one at the earliest possible time when I arrive at the hospital. Um, I've watched lots of videos about childbirth, and it just doesn't look like a pleasant process to me. And I realize that, some people really enjoy it, and good for them. It doesn't look enjoyable to me in the least. I would like to get her out as quickly and safely as possible. So, and having me not be terrified and in pain the whole time, I think will help Stella in the long run, or at least that's what I'm telling myself to justify the epidural. I don't think I have to justify it. It's lots of people have them and their children are born perfectly safe. So whatever. I'm assuming that my doctor knows what he's doing. He's the one that went to medical school, not me. So anyway, we had a hospital tour scheduled for last week, but missed it because I'm so forgetful. So I have to reschedule that. Speaking of, really need to do that. The type of insurance that I have, it's an HMO, and oh my god, it's like a cattle call. Like everything has to be according to like their system. It's a total pain in the ass, but so I need to reschedule that, and it's probably going to take a few weeks for us to be able to get in there again. What else? I don't know. I mean, pregnancy is it's interesting. Yeah, I really commend people who can do it time and time again. Lots of people have kind of chided me for not wanting more children. And they say like, oh, after you see her, like you'll totally want another one. But I was never one of those people that wanted a bunch of children to start with. I only ever saw myself with one. And truly, after going through the process of pregnancy, it definitely reconfirmed my decision to be happy with one. um, I think that people think that she is not going to be socialized and she's going to be spoiled. Um, and, she'll definitely be the one to get all of the attention because there won't be any siblings to share that with. But I don't intend on spoiling her and turning her into a little brat that doesn't like to share or, isn't a well-rounded individual. She has cousins. She has a lot of her friends are getting pregnant now or have had children recently, and so she'll be around a lot of children. And I intend on giving her just a really good life. And at this point, we can afford one child. Well, technically, no one can really afford kids. Like, let's face it, they're horribly expensive. But we can afford one child more than we could afford two children. And I really do want to be able to give my daughter everything that she wants or needs in life, obviously within reason. So because of that, I just like, and liking pregnancy, we're sticking with one, and I think I'll be very happy with that decision in the long run, and I'll be able to ensure that she has everything that she needs. So, oh my god, this is the longest ramble ever. If you guys have any questions, let me comment below. Otherwise, oh god, I just burp all the time. It's so gross. Here goes again. Leave me a comment below. I think I'm going to go take a nap. I'm kind of tired. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.